Your friends have nothing to do with your life at all, really. They only intersect where you want them to. You are a singular individual. You're not your friends. You're not what they think you should do. You're not what anybody, not just your friends, your family, society, anybody else.
I agree, yes, your friends don't necessarily control your life. You shouldn't listen to everything they say. You shouldn't do everything they tell you to. But at the end of the day, your family most of the time is looking out for you. And your friends most of the time are looking out for you too. And society, even if it's not looking out for you, there's things that are acceptable and not acceptable. So if you do things that are not acceptable, society's gonna let you know that's not acceptable. So to say don't trust your friends, family, or society is just like if you wanted to say have 10 boyfriends, or you were like, oh, I'm thinking of going out and getting pregnant by a guy or whatever, just cause your friends will probably be like, don't do that. Your family will probably be like, don't do that. But if you have nobody to tell you don't do that, you can go do whatever you want. And yes, I agree, you should be able to do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I feel like she's pretty much saying you can and you should. And I disagree with that.
Do what's always do what's best for you. Never, ever, ever do what's best for other people. If you're jumping back into anything, including the dating scene, date however you want, have as much sex as you want, have no sex if you don't want to. I'm just going to say this to you though, you should date multiples. I'm going to always preach this. I'm going to always preach not putting all your eggs in one basket. Dating multiple men at one time, very old fashioned, very Regency era, very dance card. You're going to always want to do that. Doesn't mean you're having sex with all of them. Doesn't mean you're not having sex with all of them. Completely up to you. None of my business, that's for sure. And it's certainly not your friend's business at all.
I agree with the fact that she says have as much sex as you want. You know what I'm saying? Have sex with whoever you want. But the point that I don't agree with is she's saying to sleep with multiple people at a time if you want to. I mean, like I said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So it's like, why would you try to have 4 boyfriends? None of them, I'm pretty sure, are going to take you serious. How is anything going to work out? Say if you're a girl, you're talking 3, 4 guys. Say one of them gets you pregnant. What about the other 2? What about the other 3? It's like, and then if a guy was talking to a bunch of women, or if a guy wanted to say he wanted to have multiple wives or multiple girlfriends, society would be like, oh my God. But now it's like, oh, but a woman should be able to talk to as many guys as she wants. She should be able to have 3, 4 boyfriends. And if anything, it's encouraged to have multiple boyfriends. You should be, it's like a minimum. It's like, oh, you don't have 2 boyfriends? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? It's like, and like I said, I definitely disagree with that. Because if a man did that, that's what I'm trying to do. And people go crazy. So now that women are trying to do it, I'm like, yeah, I better have the same energy. Yeah, I better have the same energy.